Well, it's January the 2nd, 2011. For probably 10 years, I've been seeing references at the one engine show that I go to, the Threshers Reunion in Denton, North Carolina, and other things, people talking about a tin can Stirling engine. You can see a number of them on YouTube, and this was the week that I said, well, I've been thinking about it so long, I'm going to try to make one. So I've finished it up. I just finished making up a little alcohol burner. This thing, I didn't like the idea of using the JB weld, the high temperature epoxies to put everything together. I just don't like the look of that. So I said, okay, I'll solder it together. And so I did. Some of the mistakes are things that I certainly wouldn't recommend anybody else doing if they're going to build one of these, is the advice is to find an old shock absorber and use the steel tubing out of it to make your power piston. That's very good advice. I just didn't have one available here, so I said, well, I'll use EMT, rigid tubing for electrical wiring, 1-inch size EMT. Well, it has a welded seam, and it's a bear for me to work with, at least on the little lathe that I have. The inside bore is not very good at all. But I've got it to where I think it's sort of ready for me to put heat to it for the first time and see if it'll run. Probably ought to put another drop of oil. Well, I can see some oil down there in the piston. And I just did this little burner up just a little while ago, so and that's the only thing that I've done, is to light that burner. So what you'll be seeing, if you have enough spare time, is my very first attempt to fire this thing up and see if it'll run. I was a little more than hesitant about, and it's burning, I was a little more really worried about this alcohol burner getting too hot. And it's going. I don't even know whether it shows up. But since I soldered this thing up with so-called silver solder, which solders very nicely to the tin can, I thought I would have to worry about having my soldered connections get too hot and melt. The closest solder is up here, and today, January the 2nd, is a gorgeous day here. We've had an incredibly cold December, quite a bit below normal, and so hooray! You saw it first here, folks. It's actually running. And it's syncing up. I was saying the weather is great outside, and that's good, so I can have the doors open since I'm burning off the new off of this thing. And it seems ready to go. It's almost like I could get a little bit of power out of it. I'm putting a drag on it. It still wants to do something. And that's basically what I've seen on YouTube. There's a walking beam type engine like this will not run very fast. There are other designs I've seen out there where it'll probably run at over 1,000 RPM. But this is one where displacer piston is really big, and therefore it has a lot of mass to move around back and forth. So I'd like to say I'm a happy camper right now. The way I join two cans is probably not any way that I've seen anybody else do, but I actually used aluminum foil duct tape, duct tape that just has an acrylic adhesive, and there's 3 windings of that on there, and then a over protection of another piece of aluminum flashing, and then a clamp to hold it together, and hopefully that's made it gas tight enough, and sure enough it seems to. So starting to stink up the room pretty good, but she wants to run, and that's good. So I can say, ta-da! Success. By the way, this wound up taking me at least double the amount of time that I hoped it would. And I thought I could knock it out in a day or so. No, didn't work out that way. So there we go.